Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singers, songwriters, and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is a Niagara Region homegrown singer songwriter. His first release was in 2021 with a collection of songs written when he was in his early teens entitled The Demo Tapes. He's played in dozens of venues, including the iconic Stone Pony in Asbury Park, New Jersey, where Bruce Springsteen started his career. So let's spill the tea with Evan Rotella. Welcome, Evan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You are most welcome. Lots of stuff to unpack with you. Starting off with your musical influence. Your dad was a DJ from years gone by. So how did that influence you as to become a musician?
Well, music just always on in the house. Still is always on in the house. It was just on 10 minutes ago. Throughout the whole house, it was kind of just a universal, and there's no way, I don't think there's a way I could at least be away from music. I think picking up the guitar, that had to be kind of just a me thing because there's no other musicians in the family. But yeah, it was just always on. My dad was always showing me new music. He's still always showing me new music. It was always kind of like a bond, something we did with each other. And now, as I've grown up, I'll come into his room and I'll give him a couple albums and I'll say, "Hey, go listen to this band." And I like to think that I've influenced his music a little bit in the last couple of years too. So it's just kind of been him giving me stuff, and that kind of grew my love for it all.
Well, some fathers and sons go fishing, some go hunting, and you and your dad go musicking
Yeah,
together. You
absolutely.
you pressed a vinyl 45, which I don't know who influenced you on that one. I know when I was DJing back 100 years ago, we carted 45 vinyls wherever we went. And the song you pressed was called "I Was a Rock Star." We think
Yeah.
about other bands that have done things like that, like "Cover the Rolling Stone" by Doctor Hook, and "Rock Star" by Nickelback. What you wrote that song and recorded when you were 15 years old. So yours was kind of looking into the future. What were you thinking when you wrote that song?
Well, it was definitely one we thought about taking down. I thought about taking down. My dad loves that song. I like to think I've grown a lot from that song. If I haven't, then there might be an issue in the stunt and growth. But yeah, it was 5 years ago. It was a fun song. I thought it was funny. Some of the lyrics in there, they were just, like Rockstar, like by Nickelback and stuff like that. I wanted to make kind of like a parody song that was kind of funny. A lot of the songwriters I like are also funny, like John Hyatt, Todd Snyder. And so I was just kind of in a funny mood one day, I guess, and I was on the couch. It was COVID. We were doing nothing. I was really bored, and I didn't mean to write anything. I just started, playing and talking, and I was like, "Oh, it's kind of funny. It's kind of got a cool little thing to it." And we put it out, and my dad wanted to get 45s because he was the DJ, right? And so he wanted the vinyls and the 45s, and that was the first thing we really did. People seem to like the song. I don't play it that often when I play like live and stuff, but people seem to still kind of like it. So, I guess that's more important than me still liking it. So I keep it up for others if they like it.
Well, people like to live vicariously through their people that they go to see. So
Yeah,
I think I like the song myself.
I appreciate it.
It's got a little 60s vibe to it almost. It's
Yeah.
almost like you played where Springsteen started, and it's got a little Bruce Springsteen, feel to it as well.
I'll take that.
You released that in 2020. Was that right as COVID was breaking out? And
Uh,
you kind of didn't have anything else to do and you did that?
yeah, it was we were definitely already in COVID because it was just like it all kind of like blurs into one for me, and every day was kind of the same, and it was I just remember being, writing a lot of music, whether it was great or not, that, who knows, but I just remember writing a lot of music, and that was one of the ones that came out. So I think we were just at the beginning of COVID. We had just gotten into it, and but we had so many songs like the demo tapes, which we have kind of taken down of Spotify because I think I've grown from that a lot. But and we didn't want to just sit on any songs, and so we went in carefully, cautiously, and we recorded in the studio, and just me and my dad and the producer, and got those out like the demo tapes, and same with If I Was a Rock Star.
You released that CD of the acoustic songs that you wrote when you were in your early teens, called the demo tapes. And I wonder sometimes when artists write things when they are very young, or they might be 10 years old, if they ever go back and dust them off and maybe update them. Legendary Dick Cooper from Cooper Brothers, who's celebrating 50 years in the business, he said he's got songs that he just every 10 years he revamps them, kinds of gives them a little tune up, and brings them along. Other artists say, no, it's past, it's past. I'd just rather move forward. What's your feeling on that?
Actually did that last night, like literally right before I went to bed. It's funny to say. I don't usually do that. I'm very new day, new thing with everything I do. I like to start over again. But I started writing music when I was like 12, and it doesn't mean it was good when I was 12, but um I look at some of the songs and I go, well, this song's not good, but this part was really good. Like this little line here, it was clear to see that I was writing something that was kind of good. Um, but hopefully you don't hopefully you don't go back too much because you hope that you've grown a little bit.
You are releasing, or you released a 10 original song LP. And how does that work out for you now as far as writing? Like that's a lot of songs to write. Was that over a short period of time? Was that over a 1 year, 2 year period of time?
Uh, it varies. Hopefully it varies. Some songs are take 20 minutes. Those are the good ones. But some songs take those are the good ones really. But the title track of that album is called Happy to Be Here. And that song took about a year to write. And then the single we put out first is Gotta Get Better. And that one, took like, 5 days. It feels like 20 minutes because hopefully you're not spending 14 hours a day on a song. Hopefully you're spending in small increments. Hopefully that means that things are coming to you quickly. But it could be any of those. But Happy to Be Here, the album, some of those songs started writing in 2020. Some of those songs, like there's a song called Fireworks on there. We had a different song that we wanted to put on the album, and I didn't think it was that good at the end of the day. And I wrote that song, 3 days before we went in and recorded it. So, uh, hopefully you're always kind of thinking about this. Oh, maybe this isn't good. Hopefully you're a critical thinker about your own stuff. Hopefully you're not biased. And I'm certainly not biased towards my own stuff. I think I'm my own biggest critic. So, so hopefully when you're coming together with a collection of songs, hopefully you're not shutting down your mind and saying these 10 songs are it. Hopefully until you've officially recorded the songs, you're still thinking about what else to put on the album. I would hope so.
I talked to other artists about what songs do they decide go on an EP or an LP, and then how do you decide which is going to be the one that you want to promote and you want to push? And others have said, the one that we thought was a throwaway that we threw on the album because we needed a eighth song, we needed a 10th song to throw on there. We put on there. We never thought it was going to go anywhere, and that was the one that did really, really well. And the one that we thought was going to be an absolute hit, that was the one. It was okay, but it didn't go anywhere. Do you find the same thing about the songs that you produce? Sometimes the ones that yeah, you think like it's okay, but for some reason it resonates with your audience.
Um, I think that's a really good thing because if someone else is hearing something in your music that you don't hear, that can't be a bad thing. For that album, the single we put out was called "Gotta Get Better." You should have a sense of what your favorite song is on the album. You should have a sense of what the best song is. That ended up doing really well, as well as it can for someone like me. But like that ended up doing that ended up being I think everyone's favorite song. But you get certain songs that come out of nowhere that like the title track "Happy to Be Here." I know I'm supposed to market myself. I don't think it's anything crazy special, but people seem to like it, and I'll take that. I'll take other people liking it. I'll trust their judgment. very much so. That's what matters in the end.
Let's get into one of the songs that Evan wrote. This song is from Evan's sophomore album. It's an acoustic live off the floor recording designed to produce a raw sound to emulate the starkness of the lyrics. Let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Evan Rotella and his song Last Train Home.
I've been riding the last train home. I've been fading away, now I'm lost and alone. I'd give up forever for some company. Just a couple more hours, then we're free, so free. I've been writing this lonely song, but the ink just fades and the plots are wrong. But the story don't seem to end. There's time on the road to write it again. Strangers come and gather here on their long, long journey throughout the years. Tired and alone, afraid and used, they'll leave eventually just like you. I've been riding the last train home. Every night I watch all the people go, but I don't leave, I just sit and wait. Maybe I'll get back someday. Gentle brother, for who goes there? There's broken souls and lives treated unfair. Thieves and cheats, heroes and saints, all ride together to whatever ways. I've been riding the last train home. Every night I watch all the people go, but I don't leave, I just sit and wait. Maybe I'll get back someday. I've been riding the last train home, but the people all leave and soon I'm alone. I don't need no company, so if you've gotta go, be free, be free. Man, I've been riding the last train home, but the ink just fades and the plots are wrong. I'll sit here forever, and that's okay. I'll see you again and fix the plot someday.
That was Last Train Home by Evan Rotella. Evan, tell us, what is that song about and what was the inspiration to write it?
Last Train Home. Like I said, I've been into folk music a lot lately. Nebraska by Springsteen, Last Great American Bar Scene, The Great American Bar Scene by Zach Bryan. I think the train song is kind of like this folk like honor you kind of have to hold on to, the last train home, that type of phrase. And I started writing it one night. I write very late usually. That's usually when these sappy songs come. And I remember growing up, I used to watch the Eagles documentary. I watched the Eagles documentary every day for summer. I was like 9 and I love the Eagles. And I would watch the way they wrote songs. And if I wanted to stay healthy, I couldn't do it the way they wrote it, because it was not a good lifestyle. But I realized that your superpower when writing songs, if it's a superpower, is your honesty with yourself. And I've always been well surrounded by people and support and love. I've never been alone. But as a songwriter, sometimes I think you feel things on a deeper level, maybe. I think you might feel things bad and good. And I always kind of felt this sense of loneliness once everyone had gone to bed and that's when I started writing, and I realized a long time ago that it wasn't something to be fixed, it was something to be written about. And Last Train Home, I guess, is about the internal conflicts you have with yourself every day. And the last train home is a metaphor for somebody who knows that maybe, the way they're feeling isn't great, but it's their superpower. It's I'm gonna ride the last train home. And the song it says something about, every night I watch all the people go. It indicates that you can get up and you can get off too, but you don't leave. You just sit and wait and you keep on riding it. So it's about internal conflict. I think everyone can relate to it because it doesn't have to be the same conflict. It can just be whatever's yours.
Evan, how do people find out more about your music? What's the website, the socials, and the streaming platforms?
You can go to evanrotella.com. It's got everything there. All the information is there. The songs are there. Information about me is there if you want to know anything. Evan Rotella on Spotify, Evan Rotella Music on Instagram, and Evan Rotella Music on Facebook. You can find me on all those places. And if you want to text me and ask a question, I respond within like 2 to 3 days.
We have been in conversation with Evan Rotella. Evan, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I've been around.